Bowl, a celebration for those who dared to dream. Welcome to Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii. We have a sellout crowd of 50,000 to see the 19th annual AFC-NFC Pro Bowl. He's going on in the middle of the field. The AFC will receive to start the ball game.
You know, you see that little guy standing around down there at number 7. That's the way I felt walking around the locker room with these guys today.
The weather conditions, absolutely gorgeous. 82 degrees, humidity rather high, a light breeze. The wind chill for those of you in the north and east, 81 in Honolulu on this Sunday. Marv Levy on the AFC sideline in his third year, completed his third year with the Buffalo Bills, and look at the transition. 2-5 as he came in the middle of '86 and had them in the playoffs, a couple of steps away from the Super Bowl this year. And Mike Ditka, this is actually the 10th time Ditka has been at the Pro Bowl. 2 as the head coach of the Bears, 2 as an assistant with the Cowboys. He played in the game 5 times with the Bears, and last year he was here in the Hall of Fame class. Morton Anderson, the star kicker for the NFC, will kick it away. And Timmy Brown, the spectacular return man from the Raiders. Look at the average, 26.8. And special teamers in this game can really be a big factor.
They really can, especially when you get a special teamer like Tim Brown. And when I talk to the AFC coaches, they're going to come out throwing the football because that's what they feel like their quarterbacks want to do and have some fun doing.
Anderson has the ball blow off the tee. He will be kicking into the wind. And a pretty decent breeze here at Aloha Stadium. 10th year the game has been played here in its 19-year AFC-NFC history. Hard to believe that they would play it anywhere else. Low line drive kick. And Brown from inside the 10. And Tim Brown horse-collared as he got across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Charles Haley down on special teams. Warren Moon starts at quarterback for the AFC. He had an exceptional year coming back from a broken shoulder blade. 17 touchdowns, only 8 interceptions. New England's John Stevens is one of 4 AFC rookies chosen for this game. He's the only starter. He was second in the conference in rushing. The Bengals' Anthony Munoz anchors the line, a consensus all-NFL choice. He has been picked for 8 straight Pro Bowls. We'll check the NFC defense for you in a moment. And Moon to throw on first down against a 3-man rush. Dumps it to Stevens. Got away from Lawrence Taylor on the outside. Maybe picked up a yard. Defensively for the NFC, the Eagles' Reggie White tops the down lineman. He led the league in sacks for the 2nd straight year. He had 18 this season. The Bears' Mike Singletary is back to the Pro Bowl for a 6th time. He and White are the game's only unanimous choices. The 49ers' Ronnie Lott heads the NFC secondary. One of the league's great hitters. He has been chosen 7 times in 8 years. Tough to highlight just one guy out of those groups.
I know, you may as well have all yellows.
2nd and 9. Delay. Dickerson gets up to about the 39-yard line. Mike Singletary in on the stop.
These kind of offenses, Mike, when the coaches try and put them in through the week, the terminology is very simple. I was at the AFC practice the other day, and that particular play is I right, I back, counter right. I mean, that's as complex as the entire offenses get. And it's amazing, and it also is a credit to the intelligence of these athletes to pick it up and be able to adapt as the game goes on.
That's the on-the-field temperature, nearing 110 degrees, and it is a very rough artificial turf here at Aloha Stadium. 3rd and 5, Moon goes to the shotgun. Dumps it over the middle, complete. They've got a first down. The catch made by Andre Reed out of Buffalo, and Joey Browner dragged him out of bounds, a gain of 12, and a first down for the AFC. Happy birthday to Andre Reed. He's 25 today.
Now, Warren Moon is really not throwing. You see Tim Brown? That's who Warren Moon's throwing the ball to, is Tim Brown. And all of a sudden, Andre Reed just shows up. I mean, that's why you're in a Pro Bowl, is that no matter where the ball is, you just pick it out of the air. That's right, you show up.
Stevens and Dickerson, the running backs. Al Toon comes to the near side. And number 83, Mark Clayton, goes to the far side. outside linebacker blitz. Moon almost got away, unloaded it. Let's see if they rule it down. Reggie White was the guy who was putting the pressure on, and it will be a sack. He was the 87 MVP in this game.
And arguably the best defensive player in the National Football League. You can see he just, two people block him. Now, it's grasp and control. We have to bring this up as far as the quarterback being sacked goes. And he has Warren's legs.
As great as he was this year, last year he had 21 sacks in 12 games.
And this year he was really bothered mentally with the fact that he had a pending contract that he felt like should be handled and taken care of and should be compensated for in a little bit different manner. So hopefully he can get that resolved. And holy mackerel, is he going to be a terror.
2nd and 21. Millard came roaring through. It's a screen to Dickerson. Picks his way up to the 45. Be 5 yards short of the original line of scrimmage. Mike Cofer made the tackle. There is Dickerson, and all he wants to hear is that I formation.
That's it. Put me far back, give me the ball, and find a hole. Eric Dickerson, no matter what football team he goes to, will in all likelihood lead the National Football League in rushing. I think you can almost make that a given because he is so talented, and by his own admission, he feels like he's the best back in the National Football League.
Also amazingly durable.
I played with him in his rookie year here in the Pro Bowl, and he is an excellent receiver, although he's not noted for catching the football.
3rd and long. Moon near side. Toon! Carl Lee got a hand on it, and now Toon with great concentration brought it in for 34 yards. What a catch.
Warren just puts this one out on a rope. There you see a little bump and run by Carl Lee. Now, Toon just heads up the field. He gets by. Now, Moon throws this ball flat. Lee times it fine, but look at the concentration. Now, slam on the brakes and pick up a few more yards.
He led the league with 93 catches this year. One of the reasons why. First time a Jet has ever led the league in reception. Out of the eye this time in Dickerson. Stutter step, Charles Mann brought him down at the 22.
You will see the intensity of this game start to pick up. As you know, there's 5,000 for the losing team, 10,000 for the winning team. Now, to some of these guys, the dollars are very insignificant. But the fact is you're in a football game, you're a competitor, you want to win.
Second down, 11. Opening drive of the game. Moon, man got him. He tried to shovel it under him, but that will be a sack. And Charles Mann has made his presence felt when he's been on the field. Had 5.5 sacks this year.
Charles Mann playing from the right side. Now you see him slide on through. That's his natural position. I always felt like the defensive linemen who make it from the defensive left side, which is the offensive right side where the tight ends are, they have an extra man to fight through to get sacks. And Charles Mann has emerged as the leader of that front four for the Washington Redskins on defense.
3rd and 17 for Warren Moon. Here comes the blitz. Got away from Colford, dumps it out in the flat. Toon makes a little move, gets down to the 20-yard line. Colfer almost had him. Sam Mills was in on the tackle.
And you talked to Mike Ditka this week, who between golf games managed to spend a few hours out watching these athletes practice. He said that the guy that really impressed him more than anybody was Mike Colfer. Something like over 200 more snaps on the field through the course of a year than any other Detroit Lion. And when you're on a team that doesn't get as much national exposure, to come here and be recognized as Ditka has of Colfer, I think speaks very highly of the man.
Well, it really does. From inside the 30, Norwood, who had a brilliant year, puts it through, but there is a flag down on the football for the first time. The AFC, a good drive. Warren Moon hit 6 out of 6 for 67 yards on that drive to set up the Norwood field goal and a 3-0 lead. Thank you for the welcome to Hawaii. We've had a wonderful time out here.
You stay another week.
But another month. Taylor and Carter are deep to receive. Carter reverse to Ellard. Little dipsy-do, and Ellard across the 30 to the 32-33-yard line. I thought this was supposed to be talent against talent, no trickery. Randall Cunningham, the starting quarterback for the NFC. He was responsible for an amazing 73.5% of the Eagles' total offense this year. The Rams' Henry Ellard, you just saw him on the reverse, has a great receiving core. He topped the league with more than 1,400 yards, number 2 in catches this year. The line anchored by Jackie Slater, 13 years in the league, the Ram veteran playing in his 5th Pro Bowl in the last 6 years. Fake the reverse to Ellard, and Cunningham on the roll. Got some blockers downfield. Walker gave him a block all the way to the 35-yard line, and that's what makes him so dangerous. He trotted 33 yards.
What do you think Buddy Ryan thinks of him out running around in a Pro Bowl like this?
Not much.
Here they run a little fake-off tackle to Herschel Walker, little reverse to Anthony Carter. Now what they've got is they've got Ellard going down the field real deep. But when you get Randall Cunningham outside contained, it's like, well, let me slow down. Let me see who's following me. No, nobody. Let me get out of bounds. There we go. Deron Cherry finally scares him out of bounds. You know, you get hit out of bounds, knocked out of bounds. That's a scare out of bounds.
And look at his yards per carry. He gained 624 yards this year, rushing. Craig behind Walker. And the 49er inside the 35 to maybe the 34-yard line. Take a look at the AFC defense. The Bills' Bruce Smith back at defensive end. He was the MVP in this game a year ago. 44.5 sacks in only 4 years. The Patriots' Andre Tippett, the veteran all-star among the linebackers. He's been selected 5 times in 7 years. And Deron Cherry will be playing in his 6th game. The chief safety led the league with 13 total takeaways this year.
You know, the amazing thing about Deron Cherry, in the 5 of the last 6 years, he's had over 100 tackles and at least 7 interceptions.
It's been amazing. It was like you were saying earlier, guys that don't play for the teams that are up in the standings, they don't get the publicity. Cunningham behind Craig out there on the coverage. Andre Tippett right in his face.
The term pull the string applies to that one.
Cunningham set Eagles single-season records for pass attempts, completions, and yardage this year. This was one of the most brilliant plays of the entire year. He was the first quarterback to lead a team in rushing in successive years since 1951 and 1952 when Tobin Rote did it for the Packers, and responsible, as we said, for 75% of his team's offense.
The thing that's scary is, you know, he can only get better as he gets more mature and more comfortable with offenses.
Has time, gets it out to Craig in the flat. Dragged down by Johnny Rembert.
Here's a guy, you know, Randall Cunningham's the kind of a guy who came in, his rookie year, he was designated third down pass. I mean, that's really breaking in the hard way as a quarterback. Ron Jaworski would take it on 1st and 2nd, and if it got to 3rd and 15, Randall, you go in and handle it. Now, I talked to Jaws about that at one point. He said, you know, in the beginning, I felt very upset about being replaced. And then when I thought about it, it was 3rd and 16. Hey, Randall, come on in. Take over.
You'd like to have somebody on 3rd and 16, wouldn't you?
A lot of times, you bet.
It's a 1st and 10 for the NFC. Craig got a brush block from Walker and gets inside the 20. Ball came loose, but it's ruled down on contact at the 17-yard line.
Now, there's Bruce Smith. Now, this is a play away from him. You see him fight Zimmerman across the ball. Now, he just gets involved. Comes all the way across to make a hit. Throws that little tiny body of his, 285 pounds, around the field.
3 years, he has been only a half sack off the AFC lead all 3 seasons. Going against a great offensive lineman, Gary Zimmerman. 2nd and 3. Jump. Walker over a player, gets down to the 11-yard line. There is a flag down on the play. Cherry was over there to help out on the tackle. Ray Childress may have jumped early. and it will go against the AFC.
The thing that, when you play in one of these games, Mike, that is amazing.
Defense was offside, number 79. Previous spot, 5 yards, and it's second down.
The thing that amazes me in a game like this is that you can put in long counts. These athletes not only are so talented, but they're so smart, so that you can do things that you normally would take 4 weeks of training camp to do, to stick them in an hour's practice through the course of 5 days. I mean, it just is incredible. There's, you see a long count to pull somebody offside.
5 yards from the previous spot, first down.
They had announced it was second down, but it was 2nd and 3, so the 5-yard penalty gives him the first down. Both coaches pretty relaxed on the sideline, and Mike Ditka has been relaxed ever since that heart attack. He has really changed his demeanor.
You're right. In talking to him, it just really opened up his eyes to a lot of priorities in life. And number one, besides his family, life was the one that got opened up the most.
Nice fake outside to give inside. The Walker inside the 5. Cherry along with Fulcher on the stop.
This is one where you want to get the ends going outside, and you see how the ends start to go outside. Smerlis gets taken out by the Garden Center, and then Herschel just cuts back, and Bruce Smith has to make the off-tackle tackle.
Walker over 2,000 combined yards this year. Only the 10th player in the history of the game to ever do it.
You know, his longest run this year was only 38 yards from the line. I mean, here's a guy who can pick up yards like most people pick up grass after it's cut.
He worked for it. Walker again. Touchdown. NFC already has as many points right now as they did all last year.
Well, here's the case. You know, Zimmerman's 280, Newberry's 280, and they just blow it off the left side. Get some good punch. You know, Herschel Walker carrying a little bit of weight, 235 going in, and Johnny Rembert loses a helmet in the process.
In his first Pro Bowl from New England. And Anderson will come on to try to make it 7 points. And does. There is another flag down. One of the more strenuous activities on a visit to the islands, a cruise, cigarette boat style, in the deep blue waters of the Pacific. Really nice of Joe Theismann to bring his boat over. And that is the Arizona Memorial at Pearl Harbor, one of the top tourist attractions here. And if you come to Hawaii, it's something you really have to see. It is a moving tour of events that happened over 45 years ago. Anderson to kick off. Thanks for bringing the boat, Joe.
You told me you'd never been out there much. I enjoyed it. It's fun to take my friends out for a ride.
Brown at the 1. And got out to the 19-yard line. Studwell made the tackle. Let's go to the sideline and Tom Jackson.
Thank you, Mike. I'm here with Herschel. Herschel, that first drive, tell me what happened.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're really fired up about this. The NFC has, you know, taken it on the back a great deal the last couple of years. And we're ready to play, and everybody's coming out there fired up, and I think it's going to be a great game.
You know, people come here and they think the guys just mess around. You guys are really serious about this.
Oh, well, we are. You know, when you get at this level here, everything you do, you got to be serious about it, because this is fun. This is an opportunity where we can get out here and just let everything loose.
Thank you. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you, TJ. You can call it pride or ego or anything else you want. These guys aren't kidding. Dickerson to the 20, takes a shot. Mann was in on it along with Singletary.
Also, you know, in a game like this, the toughest thing to teach as a coach is run blocking. That's why, I mean, the runs you're going to see are going to be simple eye-off tackles. You're going to see draw plays. The predominance of this game will be through the air, which, I mean, for a quarterback, not only are you in a dream game, you're in a dream situation where you know a coach can't put in a lot of running plays, so you just throw it around. Also
fair to point out that the defense in recent years has had a big advantage in this ball game.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I think, you know, they always do. When you look at training camps, the defense is always way ahead of the offense. Same thing applies when you put a group of all-stars together.
Officials are huddling. It's been a great first quarter.
Clock is not working. We're going to keep time on the field.
Clock is broken at 5:37.
You know, it's funny. I always listen to Ben Dreif, and no matter what he says, it's so positive, you got to believe him. I mean, they may not be keeping it on the field. They may not be keeping it on the field, but Ben says they're going to, it just sounds like it's going to happen that way.
Going back to what Herschel said, the NFC has lost 3 of the last 4 and the last 2 games, so they would like to make some kind of a statement today. Moon, quick out. Has it complete for maybe a yard. Joey Browner comes up on Clayton along with Scott Case of the Falcons. But NFC scoring drive, 67 yards, took 3 minutes off the clock, and Walker with the 4-yard run capped it off. It's a 7-3 NFC lead. And there's Jim Kelly on the sideline, unable to play. He came over here, simply unable to throw the football, Joe. He was replaced by Dave Craig and thought he'd hang around.
No, he did. He just, you know, he got invited. He said, great, a week in Hawaii, I'll come. Actually, he was dressed and did work out, but he developed soreness in his shoulder and his elbow, and he just wants to rest it and have himself ready to bring the Bills for a championship run again next year.
3rd and a yard. And Stevens, the rookie from New England, to the 34. Stevens was a guy who just wanted to make the team out of Northwest Louisiana State. Didn't even think he'd start. Then ends up getting more than 1,100 yards. He is the 2nd offensive rookie of the year out of Northwest Louisiana State. The other was the late Joe Delaney.
And there you see him just take the ball right up the middle, protect the ball. It's fun. You know, the great backs just do the basics so well. He gets in traffic, he protects the ball, and his team gets a first down.
Taylor comes on a blitz. They pick it up. The pass complete to Reed. He's out to the 44-yard line. Carl Lee wrapped him up there. Of course, Boomer Esiason not here. He also has a bad arm. Voted as the starter for the AFC. He's on another set of islands, taking a vacation this week.
Yeah, they're talking to some of the people. They felt like he was hurt all week during Super Bowl preparation. Didn't throw the ball one day be all right. The next day he was off a little bit, and it affected him, obviously, in the game.
Offense is doing pretty well here in the first quarter. Stevens on the little swing. Joey Browner wrapped him up the line of scrimmage. Warren Moon making his first Pro Bowl appearance this year. He missed 5 games this season with a fractured shoulder blade. In spite of that, he was the 3rd-rated passer in the AFC, rushed for a career-high 5 touchdowns in 1988. In this game, he is 8 out of 8 for 77 yards. Warren Moon from the Oilers.
Watching him throw all week, too, it's like he just walked off a training camp. The ball has been crisp, and it's been lively, and he's had a great time here as well.
You really like his arm, don't you?
I do. The ball, you know, only other spirals I ever saw like that were Sonny Jurgensen's. They just never wavered. You know, there was always one way to, I mean, I'd throw a ball, sometimes you had both ends to catch because they, you know, both came at you. These guys always threw a ball where there was one point coming at you, and it was like just one straight arrow.
Dickerson on that last carry. He uses his blockers, I think, as well as anybody who's ever played the game at his level.
It's his vision. You know, we had a chance to visit with Eric earlier this year, and his vision is such that when he gets the ball 7 or 8 yards deep, he sees from tackle to tackle. And it isn't that he runs to a specific spot, but he sees the crease and he sees the way the blocking develops, and he anticipates so well.
3rd down, 3 yards to go. Stevens with a good block, and they get the ball to Andre Reed. Reed stumbles, goes down at the 40-yard line, first down. Back to the sideline, and Tom Jackson.
Thank you, Mike. I'm here with one of the Hall of Fame inductees, Willie Wood. Willie, tell me what you told me about the feeling of this award as far as your last one.
Well, you know, it's one of those kinds of things that, you know, I'm very excited about, obviously, and you know, we were talking the other night, and Terry Bradshaw mentioned the fact that it's going to be the last award that he gets in football, and it's ironic that these kinds of things happen. I can remember coming in the league as a free agent, and my goal was to make the football team. Now I've finally received the ultimate award, so I'm extremely pleased about that.
This made a little bit Is this made a little bit sweeter because you had to literally almost beg for somebody to let you play?
Well, I guess you can say that. You know, there've been a lot of proud moments in between that point and now in my career, and I have to say this is perhaps maybe the ultimate.
Thank you. Congratulations. Let's go back to you up in the booth, Mike.
All right, Tom, thanks very much, and congratulations to Willie Wood. It's amazing how we remember guys in the past. The hitters out of the secondary are the guys that seem to leave the most impact.
They did on me.
Second and 7. Dickerson with his second straight carry. Dances past Taylor, who was on the ground, brought down by Studwell as he got inside the 35. Dickerson this year became the 7th leading rusher in NFL history and won his 4th rushing title with 1,659 yards. He tied Roger Craig for the total yardage title this season with over 2,000. He is making his 5th Pro Bowl appearance. That's the end of the first quarter of play from Honolulu, and it's the NFC 7, the AFC 3. Ready to start the second quarter of play. The NFC with a touchdown, the AFC with a first quarter field goal. That's our story. And all those signs that Chris Berman printed up before the game are being put to good use.
You know, I saw him sitting by the pool with a crayon and a black magic marker. I wondered what he was doing. Now I know.
Well, he was writing home for money with a crayon. 3rd and 2. Dickerson got past Browner inside the 30. Sam Mills dropped him at the 28-yard line.
That's only because he couldn't see Sam Mills. Sam's 5'9", and he gets hidden behind all those big defensive linemen. Now you'll see him come from the left side of your screen. Nobody knows where Sam Mills is. And then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, whack, there he comes.
Dickerson, 7 carries, 25 yards so far. And a first down for the AFC. There's already been more offense in this game than we had most of last year. Whistle will stop the play.
You know, Mike, in part, I really believe that has to do with the fact that you have 23 guys from the AFC.
Start on the offense, number 63. That's 5 yards, and that's a first down.
Mike Munchak of the Oilers removed.
You got 23 guys from the AFC, 16 players from the NFC that are here for the first time in the Pro Bowl. I can remember my first one, and it's like you really want to prove that you belong. I mean, you're here with the best. You really want to prove you belong. So everybody gets a little excited. Like I said, the competitive nature of athletes comes out as well. But that first time, you want to make an impression.
It's been the 11th play of this drive coming up. It's already gone more than 6 minutes. We can't give you an exact time in the quarter because the stadium clock is inoperable. Moon complete. Brown to the 20-yard line. Case brings him down. So Timmy Brown having a chance not only as a kick return man, but as a wide receiver.
And Warren Moon struggling this afternoon, only 10 for 10, 98 yards.
Pro Bowl numbers.
That's it. That's why we saw Al Toon make a Pro Bowl catch. Now we're watching Warren. There's another one by Timmy Brown. That's got to be a real big plus for the AFC. Here's a guy like Tim Brown who makes it as a kick returner.
And you can use him as a receiver.
Right.
Scott Case from the Falcons made that tackle. He led the league this year with 10 interceptions. Stevens inside the 10 to the 9. Case ran him out of bounds.
This, you know, you normally don't describe a fullback as nifty, but this is nifty. Watch, little plant the right foot, shift the ball. Look at that's a textbook. Slide the ball over to the offhand away from the tacklers, run under the camera so they can get a good shot of you and out of bounds.
First and goal from the 9. And the crowd whooping it up. They've got the wave going here in Honolulu. Perfect place for it.
Unless if you're the offensive team and you can't hear the quarterback.
Yeah. Out of the eye this time. Drive has already consumed more than 7.5 minutes. Right now, we're told 12 minutes, 58 seconds to go in the first half of play. And this will be the 13th play of this drive. right there.
Brown makes the cut on Case. His ball's right there. Actually, I don't think it got there a little bit quicker than he thought. He really didn't quite expect it that soon. Warren Moon with just a real quick timing pattern. And Ronnie Lott trying to take it up the field, making the big play. Lott comes up with another big play, just like he always does.
33, Wade Wilson into the ball game for the first time. Drops it off. Keith Jackson, the rookie tight end, out to the 38-yard line. Ronnie Lott on the sideline made that interception at the goal line and returned to 33 yards.
And when you think about the 49ers, that's got to be a pretty tired guy. This is his 25th consecutive football game. I mean, you're talking about a few weeks of work, going all the way back to early August and July.
Pretty good pin collection there. 2nd and 5. Anderson really took a shot as he got to the line of scrimmage. John Grimsley, number 59, a need player chosen by Marv Levy, made the stop. And there are the numbers on Wade Wilson this year. 9 interceptions. It's a great number.
I don't really know whether people can appreciate the great job that Wade Wilson did. When you're a quarterback and you're in a system where the coach yo-yos you back and forth, it upsets you mentally terribly. And to be able to perform at the level he did, I think, speaks tremendously to not only his physical ability, but his mental toughness.
4-man rush. Wilson throws. Intercepted or caught. It's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Thomas of Cincinnati. And they're fighting over the football.
Well, they're arguing over a tie. They want to know, does the tie go to the receiver or does it go to the defensive back? In this case, the defensive back has the ball, so I assume it's got to go to the defensive back.
Thomas had 7 interceptions for the Bengals this year. He timed this beautifully.
Well, there you see the ball is just a little bit behind him. Thomas comes in, makes the clean reception. J.T. Smith doing a good job to trying to make his point, but he doesn't quite get it done.
J.T. Smith and Eric Thomas. Thomas comes out with it. It's 7-3 NFC. Second quarter, 11:08 to go in the half. 7-3 NFC. We've had an exchange of turnovers. And Dave Craig comes in at quarterback for the first time for the AFC squad. Craig, deep sideline, overthrown, and it didn't look like Clayton saw the ball. If he puts out his hands, he catches it.
Well, you can see the shadows on the field. As he was running down, he went through one of those shadows. The sun's not in his eyes, but he's running through a bunch of shadows, and he loses it right there. He runs right through, and all of a sudden he said, wait a minute, where'd this thing come from?
First toss by Craig. It was called over here in the middle of the week. He came back off an injury and was absolutely brilliant down the stretch. As a matter of fact, he has moved up to number 4 all time in the NFL pass ratings, and we have people jumping off sides all over the place. Craig is rated, excuse me, Joe, rated only behind Montana, Marino, and Asarsa.
On the offense, number 62. That's 5 yards, and it's 2nd down.
That is Tunch Ilkin.
When you consider he's played 9 years, to me, I think the quarterbacks that have played a long time and have been able to, Boomer is a great young quarterback today, but to rate him, as one of the all-time best at this point, I think it's a little premature. When you talk about Montana, you talk about Marino, you talk about Craig, you're talking about guys who have established themselves over a long period of time.
2nd and 15, they'll go with 3 wide receivers. 4-man rush, Craig unloads, Brown is drilled. Dewerson just unloaded on him. Let's go to the sideline. TJ.
Thank you, Mike. I'm here with last year's Pro Bowl MVP. Bruce, your contract up with Buffalo. What's the situation?
Well, we've talked to the managers at the Buffalo Bills organization, and we're just looking forward to getting things going. It's kind of slow right now due to the death of my agent's mother, so we'll get it going afterwards.
One other thing you'd like to say?
Well, I'd like to say happy birthday to my father and say hi to my mother and everybody, and I love you all.
Happy birthday. Back to you, Mike.
All right, thanks, TJ. Craig, again, deep sideline, incomplete, trying for Eddie Brown. Good coverage out there. Right in front of him, Carl Lee.
Air Craig has landed in Honolulu. What's funny, too, is Jim Kelly was supposed to be the other quarterback in this game, and Kelly got the sore arm about Tuesday, So Craig had to fly. He got a possible call Tuesday night, said be ready to come here Wednesday. The confirmation came in Wednesday. He's only had 3 days of practice. I figured the easiest thing to learn was to say, hey, look, run down the sideline, go throw it, and you go catch it.
Mike Horan, who had another brilliant year for the Broncos, 5th season out of Long Beach State on the pond, and there's John Taylor, who just had an unbelievable year as a kick returner, and of course was on the end of that winning pass in the Super Bowl. Taylor lets this one go, and it will get into the end zone. 48-yard punt by Mike Horan. And we have a 7-3 NFC lead, second quarter of the Pro Bowl. I didn't get to ride on that one.
It was, you know, it's hard to ship those things over by plane.
I imagine.
They come in little pieces.
10:45 to go first half. The NFC up 7-3 and with possession of the football. Wade Wilson, the quarterback. Guns it near side to Carter. Tried to run before he caught it. Eric Thomas was out there to make sure he didn't go anywhere. Big smile on AC's face.
I asked him, he said, I just haven't been able to put back the weight. He's still 166 pounds. Oh. And if you look at his legs, he has no definition in his calves whatsoever. I mean, you know, look at those things. He's got 4 pairs of socks on. That's why they're so big today. But he just said, ever since he had the flu, he just can't put his weight back on.
2nd and 10. Settle and Anderson in the back. This is Anderson on the draw. Got away from Rembert. Slips another tackle across the 30. McMillan chased him out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Excellent run by Neil Anderson, who gained 1,106 yards this year for the Bears.
That's one of those classic plays that you put in a game like this, simple draw play, and you let the athletes play. There you see, runs out of the hands of Rembert, gets away from the tackle of one of the Cleveland defensive backs. That was Hanford Dixon, and finally gets knocked out of bounds by McMillan. He's got to have, I think, one of the toughest jobs in football, and that's replacing what truly is a legend in the game, Walter Payton.
Following Walter. Wilson with time, throws short and complete, may lose a yard on that one. Rembert was in on the tackle this time. Anderson came out of the backfield. Wilson, the last couple of years, has been able to develop the touch to go with a great arm he always had.
Well, Bob Schnelker has, I think, given Minnesota a system that complements what Wade Wilson does. It's a set quick, fire the ball, make good decisions, and he's really, really emerged as a leader in that ball club.
2nd and 9 has this one tipped in the air, and it's incomplete. Good pressure up the middle that time. All the other quarterbacks in this game so far, 3 out of 10 for 16. Warren Moon has hit 10 of 11 for 98.
Well, Fred Smerlas batting the ball up in the air. I do mean old Fred Smerlas. I can say that to him, you know. It's funny, you know, he made 4 straight Pro Bowls, and he said he appreciates this one so much because, you know, after a while you take it for granted. Then it's not there. You appreciate it again.
3rd and 9. 4-man rush. Wilson pressure. Throws off his back foot for Anderson. Did he hold it or not? They'll rule it a catch at the 46-yard line. It looks suspiciously like that ball may have hit the ground and bounced back to Anderson.
We'll get a chance to take another look. You see Anderson just adjust like an athlete. Wilson lays it out to him. There it is. No, it's up. I think it's a catch. We do have instant replay in this game.
But we haven't used it.
No, and I doubt if we will. But see, that ball looks like it bounces out, but it's still, his hands are still underneath. Great catch.
Here comes the reverse to Ellard. Wilson throws a block, and Ellard will get a couple down to the AFC 42-yard line. Bruce Smith stayed at home and helped on the tackle.
And don't you believe that Clay Matthews had to be sort of chuckling a little bit when Wade Wilson turned the corner to block him? Like, you know, anytime a linebacker sees a quarterback coming, they got to have a big smile on their face. Like, right, what are you doing out here?
And you guys don't smile at all.
Never. I fear. You know, I always threw below the knees. Anything below the knees I threw at. Hopefully I'd hit the ground first and bounce in somebody's feet and trip over me.
2nd and 6. We can't give you the exact time on the clock because the stadium clock is not operating right now. Wilson in trouble. And they will not take much time in ruling grasp and control here today. Andre Tippett gets the sack.
This is a mismatch, okay? Number 56 right in the middle of your screen, the white. That's Neil Anderson. Now, Neil gets an A for effort, okay? But
maybe a B.
Well, okay. maybe not quite. I think he flunked effort, okay? I think he failed that one. Made the wiser choice, you know. Get out of the way. Here comes Andre Tippett.
Wilson this time, he can run. 35 and dives forward. McMillan got the helmet in there to slow him down. Gain of 14 for Wade Wilson.
Well, there he is, you know. That's what he looks like today, and that's what he looked like in yesteryear. See how the elbow's up? Even at a young age, he held that. You know, the quarterback coaches used to say, get it up around your ear. They always told me that. I never got it that far. But he did.
Got to be a thrill for Wade Wilson. 8 years in the league, his first Pro Bowl. Cunningham and Wilson are both with pretty good games. And Wilson fumbles the snap. Got it back at the 34-yard line.
Remember I told you that was the one thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I really mean it. That is the toughest thing to do. Because these offensive linemen have got to make angle blocks, and the guys playing across from them are no slouches. That's Doug Smith from the Los Angeles Rams, and Wade just doesn't stay with it. And I really believe it's the toughest job for a quarterback in this game is just getting the snap from center.
I thought it was finding out what to do with all that money. Second and
Buy boats.
Yeah. Three-man rush. Late blitz. Wilson throws. Ellard, what a catch. Ellard at the 21 in front of Eric Thomas.
Ellard just running an out pattern. Now there's the ball out to the outside. And watch him just reach out and grab this thing out of the air. Look at that. That's the old fingertip catch. Gets both feet in.
He was the first player for the Rams to go over 1,000 yards receiving since Tommy McDonald did it in '65.
Averaged 15.6 a catch. And was really their possession receiver this year, not their speed burner.
6:25 to go in the half. NFC up by 4 and driving. Settle. Here's the reverse to Carter. Wilson got him a great block. And AC down to the 13-yard line. Wade Wilson almost put somebody out of the game.
Oh, come on. Come on. What happens is Wade Wilson just looks back and sees Lee Williams, and he just, like I said, you dive at his ankles and make him jump over you. Right part of your screen, number 11, Wade Wilson. See Lee Williams coming? Now, look, he just, see where he throws? I tell you, below the knees. Throw it below the knees. Excellent block, though. I wouldn't say put him out of the game.
Second down. Put him yards to go. Settle to the 10. Rembert brought him down along with McMillan.
You know, you were talking about John Settle before. Like, what a great story. 1,024 yards. First free agent to rush for 1,000 yards since the merger in '70. And in the old AFL, Paul Lowe did it for the Chargers in '63 and '65. And Clem Daniels. I knew that was the name was the Raiders. He was the other one that rushed for over 1,000 yards.
This is the 13th play of this drive. I mean, it's been all offense. Even though we only have a 7-3 score, they've moved the ball very, very well. Anderson behind Settle. To the 5, maybe the 4. Clay Matthews made the tackle.
Steve Jordan just jogged into the game. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if they run a little play-action fake. You know, what coaches like to do in a game like this is they'll send a guy in with his own play. All right, you know, Wade Wilson's Minnesota quarterback. Steve Jordan's a tight end for Minnesota. Run a little play-action, throw the ball to Steve.
Second down from the 4. Handoff to Settle, hitting the backfield. Power run inside the 2. Matthews hit him in the backfield. Duron Cherry had to make the tackle. Running back John Settle told us what he attempts to do when he competes against the NFL's best back.
I find myself, sometimes when we play teams like the Raiders, for instance, and I'm walking down the tunnel with Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson and some of those guys, and I'm like, I'm competing against these guys today, and I want to, every time I go out, I want to outshine or outperform the other running back.
John Settle from the Falcons and Wade Wilson used one of his timeouts. He wants to talk it over. The NFC leads the AFC, but the NFC has the ball at the 2-yard line. 3rd down, and the stadium clock operating again. 4:20 to go. First half of play from the Pro Bowl. Anderson and Settle, the backs in the eye. Settle on the sweep. Stopped short. Great tackle by Rembert. Inches shy of the goal line. 4th down. Can't kick a field goal, can you?
No, you got to go for it. I mean, that's what they're here for. Everybody came to see this game. They came to see the athletes. That the kickers are not athletes, because I caught some grief about that. Kickers are athletes, but they came to see plays like this. They want to see the goal line stands and that goal line surge. Have I dug myself out of the hole yet?
Yes.
Okay.
He's made it. Herschel Walker into the ball game. He and Settle are split. Ron Wolfley also in there. Walker. Flag is down.
And no signal of a touchdown either.
Looked like Smurlus got an early start.
Defense was offside. Half the distance from the 6-inch line to the 3-inch line.
Now that's specific.
I told you, no matter where it is, Ben, you got to believe him. It's on the 3-inch line. That's it.
Ben doesn't get around.
No, he doesn't.
It's tough to keep stats on those 3-inch penalties.
Yeah. Where do you mark that down?
Here's the goal.
4th down, 3 inches.
Is that 3 inches?
I'll guarantee that's pretty accurate, too. Look, wait, so hold it. Hold it. Yeah, looks like it. 4th down, 3-inch line. I can see it now. You see these fields striped with inch lines.
Our graphics people have been out here too long. Clock is not operating again. 4th, and we'll go with it, 3 inches. Anderson and Settle, the back. Settle. Touchdown. That'll be a nice memento.
You betcha. He's not giving it up either. He's going to take that football with him and sit with it on the bench and give it to somebody and say, look, hold on to this for me, will you? This is just power football, and just dive in there, follow Neil Anderson, and find a crease and go through sideways. Little spinner on in.
Morton Anderson for the point after. Mr. Automatic has it through. 14-3 NFC. A 3-inch touchdown run. Let's go to the sideline and Tom Jackson. TJ?
How you doing, Mike? I'm standing here with our second inductee to the Hall of Fame, Terry Bradshaw. Terry, the other night I saw you were like a kid. Tell me the feeling.
Tom, it's the greatest feeling in the world. It's an award you never think about. You never look forward to it. It seems to be too unreal, too far out there to even think about getting. All you want to do is win Super Bowls. And now that your game, your playing is over with, and to be inducted into the Hall of Fame is the greatest thrill in the world, and it's the last football thrill I can have. So I'm tremendously humble and ecstatic by it.
When you came to this Pro Bowl, I'm just going to ask you this as a sidelight. A lot of guys skip this game. Did you always enjoy coming to this game?
I didn't make enough Pro Bowls, and so when I got voted in, brother, I came. I showed up.
All right, congratulations, Terry.
Thanks, Tom.
Great career, babe.
All right.
Back to you, Michael.
Thank you, TJ. One of the greats, Terry Bradshaw, 4 Super Bowl rings.
And you know, people just, I don't think, can appreciate his ability as a quarterback. I mean, he may not have did it the way everybody said you were supposed to do it, but boy, when it came time to get it done, there wasn't a man that could get it done better than Terry Bradshaw.
Anderson to kick, low line drive. Brown has it bounced away. All the way back to the 1, reversed his field. Look out for this. Brought down at the 21-yard line. Jerry Gray, nice job on special teams. As you watch John Settle's touchdown run again, listens as he tells us what his ultimate Pro Bowl experience would be.
I think that if I could go into the Pro Bowl and play against the best defense in the AFC and be able to break through the line of scrimmage, run past a couple of DBs and score, and how the whole offense of the NFC come up and celebrate, and high fives and things like that. I think that that'd make my day.
That's great for John Settle. That's wonderful. Craig buried at the 10. Haley came from his linebacker spot and did what he had done so well all during the year. 11.5 sacks on the season. He got a big one there.
There's a couple of high fives. Get you rolling. 11.5 sacks. There's another one of those linebacker defensive end type. Dolman moved from defensive end to linebacker.
Other way around.
They're so, yeah, they moved from linebacker. They're so big. I mean, and big.
2nd and 18 for Craig. Brooks on the delay. Great move by little James Brooks out to the 27-yard line. Another Auburn running back, 14 yards.
I talked to Marv Levy earlier this week, and I said, is there any one athlete out here that impresses you more than any? He said, it's hard to get a feel for the wide receivers, but he said the guy that is incredibly quick and so talented is James Brooks. He just does so many things so well.
Got more moves than a used car salesman in the one run. 2 minutes to go, first half. It's 14-3 NFC. Downs in this game. Craig had a little trouble with the snap. Throws complete to Reed, and he's got a first down at the 32-yard line. Dewerson made the tackle. We can't keep you up to date on the time because the game clock is not working. They go to the hurry up. We're inside 2 minutes. Craig has come out throwing, and this one's dropped right in the hands of Clayton. Couldn't hold it.
Clayton's had a real tough time finding the ball. This is not an easy stadium to see the ball in. It doesn't have stripes on it, so you can pick it up. And if you, as we pan out, and you'll notice there's a lot of brown in this stadium, and it blends in with the ball very, very well, and you got shadows on the field that make it even more difficult.
Last 5 years, look at those numbers. 5,500 yards. 2nd and 10. Here comes the blitz. Craig with time. Throws. Brooks bobbled it, but caught it at the 40-yard line. Haley out there in the coverage.
There's a mismatch. Haley on Brooks. That's what you look for when you're coming out. You want to find these big linebackers against the little guys like him.
Hope you stay with us at halftime. Chris Berman will be along and have the Travelers NFL Man of the Year. Great tape. The year in review. We'll have an update from Sports Center. And, of course, we'll show you some of the entertainment that's going on here at the stadium, the Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. 3rd and a yard. Craig will try to run for it. Millard got him at the 43. Very close to a first down. It'll depend on the spot. Craig continues in the hurry up.
Of course, now you see the NFC shuffling on defense. You're very limited to what you can play defensively. You can only play a double zone man or a double zone zone. You can't have all these combination coverages that the teams normally can play.
Craig to Brooks, couldn't hold it. And you're not supposed to have bump and run. You can only blitz an outside linebacker. They try to restrict it.
Only use 5 defensive backs. You can't use any more than that. So,
but the defense is cheap.
Sure they do. If the game gets close. Now, you're only supposed to bring linebackers in a goal line situation. And, of course, the coaches sort of have like, unless we're losing and we need to stop them. Then you start changing a little bit. Go. Page 2, modified rules.
notified that there are 58 seconds to go in the half. 2nd and 10 AFC. They have only a field goal here in the first half. Craig throws short this time, intended for Andre Reed. Kennard on the coverage. Now, you pointed out something when Craig showed up here this week. He hadn't thrown the ball in a long time.
No, he really hasn't. You know, and he had the problem going in, had a great latter part of the season, but he just doesn't really get his arm loosened up. I mean, of course, when you got Reggie White coming in to give you a big kiss in the chin, you don't want to necessarily step into a throw anyway.
He'll be real loose right now. And 3 out of the 4 AFC drives have gone more than 10 plays. Still, they have only a field goal. And now it's 3rd and 10. Craig floats this one, knocked down, almost intercepted by Scott Case. Intended for Reed across the middle.
There's a guy, Scott Case, has the month of November. He was Defensive Player of the Month, had 5 interceptions, 20 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 forced fumble. There he is knocking the ball away. I mean, he had a career in 1 month.
With the Falcons, who really improved this year. They beat some people. They scared the daylights out of some others.
They were 3-1 through the month of November, and talking to him in the locker room before he came out, he said, you know, our defense really played well at the end of the year. They feel very good about themselves coming up, looking forward to 89.
There are 3 or 4 teams that are on that edge. A couple players added to their roster. And I think the Falcons, the Lions, the Chiefs. Fair catch signal made at the 20 by Taylor. 36-yard punt by Horan. 39 seconds to go in the half. Dave Craig on the sideline. Wade Wilson on the field for the NFC. See what he can do in the last 39 seconds. The AFC still shuffling defensive players on and off the field. Walker on a draw. And Rufus Porter, number 97, the special teams player out of Southern University, made the tackle.
You got to make Rusty Tillman, the special teams coach of the Seattle Seahawks. That's got to make a special teams coach proud to know that one of your guys is selected as the best in the league in that conference. Of course, Ron Wolfley for the Phoenix Cardinals, also sharing that honors for the NFC.
25 seconds to go in the half. The Wolfley's been here 3 of the last 4 years as a special team.
I was thinking about buying a condo over on Waikiki.
Good thought. Well, he's from West Virginia. He's smart. That's the end of the first half as you see Mike Ditka walking off the field. He's got to be happy for his players. They have a 14-3 halftime lead. We invite you to stay with us for halftime. Chris Berman.
Let's hear now from Richard Brown of the Travelers Companies, who is the sponsor of the NFL Man of the Year Awards.
The Travelers NFL Man of the Year Award honors the player who best demonstrates an exceptional balance of civic and professional responsibilities. That certainly describes Steve Largent of the Seattle Seahawks, our 1988 Man of the Year. A 7-time Pro Bowler who holds nearly every NFL career receiving record, Steve is certainly the model by which future wide receivers will be judged. Beyond the gridiron, he is also a role model for youth. Steve's work with youngsters and charitable organizations is well recognized throughout Seattle, as is his deep commitment to family values. He will donate his $25,000 Travelers NFL Man of the Year Award to the Birth Defects Clinic at Seattle Children's Hospital. For Steve, contributing to his community is just as rewarding as contributing to his team. We at the Travelers salute the professional and civic values Steve stands for. He is truly a winner both on and off the field.
I want to make sure to present the Travelers Company's check for $25,000 to Mr. Steve Largent. I'm proud to introduce Mr. Ed McCaskey, Chairman of the Board of the Chicago Bears.
On behalf of NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle and the 28 NFL
and
owners,
then throw to Saunders, right?
I am very pleased to present this check to Steve Largent, the 1988 Travelers NFL Man of the Year. The National Football League is proud to have the Travelers recognize NFL players' contributions to their community through the Man of the Year Award. The Chicago Bears are honored to have All-Pro safety Dave Duerson selected as last year's Travelers Man of the Year, and Steve Largent
Mr. McCaskey, Mr. Brown, on behalf of the many NFL players who are equally deserving this award and the many families in the Seattle area that are going to continue to benefit from the work of Children's Hospital, I say thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Congratulations. Thank you.
None better than that man, Steve Largent of the Seattle Seahawks. And Steve owns so many of the records, the all-time records in the NFL, the consecutive game receiving mark, the yardage record, the number of catches. But knowing Steve, as we've gotten to do along our careers, I have a feeling that today's award, as Travelers Man of the Year, means just about as much to him. If you were in Cincinnati, where Boomer Esiason and the Bengals made it awfully clear that one could indeed go from 4-11 to 12-4, they'd dance. They would douse. They would shuffle and shake their way all over the rest of the AFC competition. But you know what? It wasn't so simple, because in Buffalo, the Bills crossed up opposing offenses. They ran new post patterns in winning the AFC East. Marv Levy's Bills almost made it to the big dance. But it wasn't so simple for Doug Williams and the defending champion Redskins. The ball simply didn't bounce their way all year long. And what about the defending AFC champion Broncos? Neither Dan Reeves nor John Elway seem to have any of the answers. Another playoff perennial, the Giants, resorted to the prayers of Jim Burt. But old Gotham emotions took the better of them in Week 16 when the Jets eliminated Bill Parcells and the Giants in the playoffs. It was not a nice year to play quarterback. Twice, Bernie Kosar was shelved, starting in Week 1. Early on, Warren Moon was racked. Week 3, Dave Craig separated a shoulder, and John Elway played hurt all year long. A different sort of hurt in Chicago. Mike Ditka needed sideline care after suffering a mild heart attack. He wasn't smiling either when his former quarterback, Doug Flutie, led the Patriots to a victory over the Bears. Flutie, again, a New England hero, this time as a pro. And speaking of heroes, what about Randall Cunningham, who put the word athleticism back into the quarterback position? This Monday night play against the Giants, perhaps the play of the year. Other young quarterbacks continue to struggle. Vinny Testaverde has a good arm, but more often than anyone else, his arm found jerseys of the wrong color. Across Florida and Miami, Dan Marino at times was brilliant. Other times, he too suffered the interception bug. Legends were under fire. In Miami, Don Shula and the Dolphins were way out of the AFC East picture early. In Pittsburgh, it wasn't one for the thumb. It was thumbs down on Chuck Noll and the Steelers. And hardly hats off to the Dallas Cowboys, but Tom Landry and company may start the ride back with Troy Aikman if he's as dazzling as these rookies were this year. Like John Stevens, rookie year, 1,000 yards for the Patriots. And Nelly, let me tell you about Keith Jackson, a star in Philadelphia. A farewell party to Bill Walsh, going out a winner. Harry Carson ended a long run on Broadway. His teammate, George Martin, won't make runs like this for the Giants. And Randy Cross went out smiling, as always. Marty Schottenheimer changing address from Cleveland to KC. And Brigitte sacked Mark. Week 1, future Hall of Famer Steve Largent leveled by Mike Harden, but Week 15, payback was sweet. What about a sweet hit by Eugene Seal? That hit would top the charts in '88 for the Oilers. His coach, Jerry Glanville, certainly didn't look at it as Heartbreak Hotel. But in Cleveland, the Oilers were not a hound dog. Halloween in Indianapolis, Rod Serling should have been there. Somebody tell me, what the heck is going on? We solved it all at Joe Robbie Stadium. What was going on was a Super Bowl to remember. The tutor and the student. Maybe the last game for Reggie Williams and the Bengals. Roger Craig, brilliant again for the 49ers. Early on, a freak injury shelved nose tackle Tim Crumry of the Bengals. But Sam and company still look at a possible victory because Stanford Jennings did go all the way on a kickoff return. The Bengals led with just more than 3 minutes to go. But the magnificence of Jerry Rice, the Super Bowl MVP, and the brilliance again of Joe Montana, the touchdown pass to John Taylor in the final minute. And for the third time in the 1980s, Montana and the Niners were champions of football. You know, it was a season in which, in a game in which you look at the final drive by Joe Montana and the Niners, you say, well, they already have the catch with Dwight Clark. They already have, we call it the score, do we call it the drive, the catch? with Joe Montana and the 49ers, what they accomplished in the last 3-10 of the Super Bowl was the usual. They win in the clutch. And that's the memory I'll have from the 1988 season which some people thought Montana and the Niners were through, but they had the last laugh. Tom Jackson, we've had a few laughs this season, this being the last one. If you look back at 88, what sticks out in your mind?
Chris, I have to go back to my first visit with the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that what Sam Weiss accomplished coming off of a 4-11 season, mixing his team as roommates, that team, defense, offense, black, white, getting his team emotionally and psychologically ready to play, I think not only proves that the Bengals can make that kind of comeback from a bad season, but maybe any team that finished at the bottom of their division can come back next year and have a good year, maybe end up in the Super Bowl.
So there's hope for a lot of the teams drafting very high this coming April to play in January this coming season in 89 and moving into 90. Joe Theismann, your thoughts. When you think back at 88, the odyssey that it was, what do you remember?
Well, first of all, what amazes me more than anything is you're a lot bigger than I thought you were. Looking at you in a
That's why they invented desks.
I can't believe it. I'm dwarfed again in this huddle. It's unbelievable. I think the one thing that stands out to me is the ability of Randall Cunningham as an athlete. The throw he makes against the New York Giants on that Monday night just has solidified in my mind the greatness of this young man and the future that he has to continue to lead his team in rushing and be a leader of the Eagles in the National Football League.
And all they want is a game without fun.
Well, maybe I ought to duck down a little bit. This next one is the term for 89 is athleticism, and we're going to see it right here with Randall Cunningham. Little fake reverse, outruns Andre Tippett. Now here's a guy who gets outside and he says, hey, look, mosey on down the field. Let me slow down a second, see what's going on, and then picks it up again and runs out of bounds before Duron Cherry has a chance to even get a finger on him. I mean, it's just, it's been that kind of a football game by the greatest athletes in the game.
What's the difference in attitude at halftime? We talked about the attitude before the game. Guys have been out here enjoying themselves all week, patting each other on the back, saying, gee, you had a great year. No, you had a great year. And now we're at halftime, and the winners get 10 grand, the losers get 5 grand. Did the intensity pick up a step?
That's exactly what happens is you go in there and you say, look, we could do a lot with $5,000. I think, okay, we've got it's 14-3, we've got an 11-point lead. Let's go out and get the job done. And the offense says, okay, we'll keep our end up. Of course, the AFC guys are saying, hey, look, we've moved the football. We just have to not make mistakes. It takes on the same intensity that a normal football game would at halftime. You've got athletes that want to win a game.
Interesting, some of the things that happened in the first half. Warren Moon, the only quarterback who really had good numbers out there. The other guys seemed to throw the ball on target, but they had some drops.
Well, you saw his numbers, 10 for 11, and it was just the kind of a half where I think each team had to settle down. Each of the quarterbacks played a quarter. Wade Wilson for the NFC played the second quarter. Warren Moon played the first. We saw David Craig come out and just unload the ball deep right out in the beginning. Randall Cunningham started, and I would assume, now this is the way the coaches work it, a little bit different. Some coaches like to start the quarterback the first quarter and the third quarter, the starting quarterback, and the second and fourth quarter goes on. Other ones will go very simply, you play the first quarter, let the other guy play 2 and 3, and then you come back and finish it up, because I know when I played in my first one, when Danny White was the quarterback, I was supposed to play at a point in the game, and we sort of changed it around because, like, Tom Landry was a coach, and Danny was the quarterback, and Danny took him down the field very familiar with the offense. And so there are changes that are made, and you see decisions made to change the outcome of a game and make it something you want to win, not just everybody gets equal time and equal visibility.
Let's take a look at the halftime statistics. We had several long drives in this ball game, and here are the passing stats. The AFC with 112 yards, most of those for Warren Moon, and the NFC with the edge in rushing. Each team had a turnover. Third down conversions, pretty good for both AFC and NFC All-Stars.
Of course, the big turnover for the AFC was the interception when they were going in to score, bounced off of Eddie Brown's hands. And I really believe that ball got there a little bit quicker than he expected it, and Ronnie Lott wound up taking off and turning it up around the 20-yard line. It's been, it balances out, although passing and rushing seem a little imbalanced in this game for each team. It averages hot, and he can bring them right back into this game in a hurry.
I think we're also reaching the point in the game where things happen like when you were here with Charlie Brown, and you would make up a play as you go along, a play that's not necessarily in the playbook.
We did that when Bill Walsh was coaching the second Pro Bowl I played in. We had an X-in pattern, and things weren't moving quite that well, and I turned to Charlie and I said, remember, you know, that X-in pattern we run, go down and run about 15 yards? I told Eric Dickerson to go out and hook about 6, and I said, I'll hit you down behind it. Well, I called the play, I threw it, Charlie caught it, set us up, we scored a touchdown. I jogged to the sidelines, and Bill Walsh said to me, what was that play that Charlie caught? I said, well, that's one that we had in our playbook, and he said, you know, that's a very impressive play. We'll keep that in mind for the rest of the game.
AFC will kick off to start the second half. And that's what Aloha Stadium looks like, about 25 minutes from downtown Honolulu, from Waikiki Beach. And the Bills, Scott Norwood, to kick off.
You know, Mike, what's really the toughest decision these coaches have to make is who you put on the special teams here, because these guys are not necessarily special team players.
John Taylor from the 6-yard line. And Taylor out across the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 from that point. Here's what the NFC did with the football. First drive, 7 plays and a touchdown. The second drive was interrupted by that punt after that third play. I thought it was an interception, but it wasn't. 16-play drive for another touchdown, and in halftime, so only 4 possessions in the first half. That's not many times to get your hands on the ball.
Punts always interrupt drives.
Yes, they do.
Everyone I've been involved in has been interrupted by a punt.
Cunningham opens the third quarter and goes back to throw. Pump fake it and floats it deep. Through the hands of J.T. Smith, and right with him, Frank Minifield. J.T. in this ball game because Jerry Rice couldn't make it, aggravated his ankle in the Super Bowl.
JT's looking right into the sun on that one. You can see the shadows. Whenever a receiver has trouble, look at the shadows, and it tells you exactly where the sun is, and it's right there. He has no idea it even hits him in the chest until it's on the ground.
Plus, Minifield got away with a little bump and then got a hand up in the face.
Well, you know, that's why you're all pro. You get away with stuff like that.
If you don't get away with it, you get cut. Cunningham with a chance to run. 45 still on his feet midfield. He faked like he was going to slide and then stayed up. That'll get you hurt somewhere.
I love that term, athleticism. You know, that's like, watch this. I mean, he's so strong. Now he will come to a complete stop, plant both feet right there. Boom, boom. Wow. Holy mackerel. David Fulcher said, wait a second, I know he was here a second ago. Now where did he disappear to?
You make Fulcher look bad, you better not run again.
No. You know, 6'3", 230-pound strong safeties.
Been up during the season to 245. He is a monster. Craig hit in the backfield, got away, cut it back, still on his feet. Let's go down to the sideline again, and Tom Jackson. TJ.
Michael, down here in our never-ending effort, I'm getting hit by everything, in our never-ending effort here to bring news facts. We've had a baby here born in this section right here. They're pretty happy about that. So we had one birthday announcement by Bruce Smith. There will be future birthdays for that baby today. Back up to you in the booth, Mike.
All right, Tom. On top of everything.
That's right. That's right. That's ESPN's medical reporter, Tom Jackson. Live from on the field. We bring you news, sports, medicine.
Mother and child doing fine, we understand. 2nd and 8, NFC, Cunningham. All alone, Jordan. Fulcher brings him down to 40. Looks like he's got a first down. Jordan makes the catch, 2nd in yards among tight ends in the National Conference. He can do it all, one of those complete players.
You know, this is his 3rd Pro Bowl in 7 years, and he is... the tight end position is sort of, with the 4 wide receivers, teams have gotten away from it. They haven't featured the tight ends. Now in this past year, you see Steve Jordan, you see Keith Jackson. That tight end position is coming back to importance as far as offensive technology goes.
Ball spotted just inside the 40. Jackson gets down to the 37-yard line. Jackson caught 81 passes this year. As a rookie, in his career at Oklahoma, he caught 62. That's in his career. He's done 4 years worth of work with the Eagles this season.
I know. And Buddy Ryan wanted him badly. I mean, you know, there's a coach who gets his #1 draft pick. He gets a tight end, and he's ecstatic over the fact that he has this athlete. And it was utilized to help that team tremendously.
2nd and 7. Cunningham has come out throwing. They'll go with a running play here. Herschel, nowhere to go. Dragged down by Bruce Smith.
I got to believe Roger Craig is thinking to himself, I'm glad I don't play and have to make a living blocking Andre Tippett on every play. Tippett cut in that time. Bruce Smith slants through before. Bruce Smith going to make sure he doesn't get outside, and then he runs him down from the outside. Here's a guy who in the AFC Championship game, I believe, was on his way to a career football game before he got that thigh bruise. I mean, the loss of Smith and Shane Conlon being on one foot really hurt Buffalo in that championship game. And that's not to take anything away from Cincinnati's drive to the Super Bowl.
No, but those are a couple of brilliant players. Cunningham pressured. Lost it, got it back. Whistle hasn't blown yet. Lee Williams chasing him. J.T. Smith inside the 30. Can the guy play or what?
This is football, a little basketball. I mean, Randall Cunningham now gives you an opportunity to see his running ability, his dribbling ability, and his throwing ability all in one play. There he is now. He gets the ball stripped away. Cornelius Bennett knocks the ball loose. Now he picks it up. Of course, he gets a good bounce. He starts to the right. Nah, Ray Childress is over there. Nah, Lee Williams is over there. Now he's decided he has to fix his wristband to throw the ball. And JT picks up the first down.
The 45-second play to gain 11 yards. Herschel. Lee Williams is there as he gets to the 25-yard line. Some of the guys that are not on the field for the AFC because of injuries, Tim Crumry among them, the nose guard who suffered that awful-looking injury in the Super Bowl, and we really hope his recovery is as short as possible. John Offerdahl isn't here, Dino Hackett, Albert Lewis, all injured, all excellent players who couldn't make the Pro Bowl.
And I can really relate to Tim Crumry's,
I'm sure.
You know, leg injury, and all I can tell you is that he is, you know, one of the best top 2 defensive guys in the league, and he'll be back, I'm sure of it, and, you know, with that kind of intensity, lead the Bengals back as well.
2nd and 6. Cunningham dumps it off to Craig. 15, lost it out of bounds. Rembert hit it. Roger Craig had the best single game in the NFL. He had 190 yards rushing against the Rams earlier this year. This 80-yard touchdown run against the Vikings set an NFL playoff record. He tied Eric Dickerson to win total yards for the NFL this year, 2,036 yards. Roger Craig with a career season, and he ends up with a Super Bowl ring in the process.
Yeah, he was a blocking back at Nebraska.
Tells you something about Nebraska, doesn't it?
Well, they got nothing but blocking backs. A couple of running backs, a lot of blocking backs.
1st and 10, NFC. Here comes the reverse, J.T. Smith. And they foul it up. Smurlus was the guy that broke the rhythm on the play, and then Ray Childress made the tackle. Childress, first team AFC, is chosen by UPI.
There you see now, Smurlus is the nose tackle. He's just sort of following everybody along and just gets hung up in the middle of the field. Of course, Ray Childress just has the pursuit angle. You get down this time in the game, you're not going to get those defensive linemen flowing real fast from one side to the other. So if you're going to run a play like that, you better make it a quick one.
NFC's had 9 different ball carriers today. 3 have been wide receivers on reverses. 2nd and 18 right now.
What would you call on 2nd and 18?
I throw the ball in the flat. I'm wrong. And it's thrown away.
He flew it the flat section of the field out there at the end. Yeah. Good decision.
Cunningham has hit 3 of 5 in this half. We asked him earlier this week who he's happy that he's not playing against.
Dolman. I think it's Chris Dolman, because I remember playing against the Minnesota Vikings, and then we were, you know, playing against each other, and I throw a pass, and bam, I get hit from behind, and I look up, and it's Dolman. You know, next play, same thing over and over and all game, and it's like, I'm glad he's on my side rather than playing against him again.
Happy that Dolman is on his side. However, he's got Bruce Smith, Cornelius Bennett, some other guys who can plant their number right between your shoulder blades. Cunningham with time inside the 10-yard line. Jordan of the Vikings. Matt Millen was there. Eric Thomas. Millen with his first Pro Bowl in 9 years.
Cunningham just fired. What's really impressed me so much, and I've watched Randall Cunningham over the last 3 years, is his change in his release. He used to have a real long, bring the ball back a long way and make a real whippy type of release. What he's done is he's shortened it down, and a lot of credit to the offensive coaches in Philadelphia that have worked with him and refined it to be even as tall he is with the length of his arm. Get it off real quick with a lot of zip on it.
Anderson, the most accurate field goal kicker in the history of the National Football League, will try one from 27 and has it. And the NFC extends its lead to 14 points. 8:03 to go in the third quarter of play from the Pro Bowl. It's 17-3. Looks good, doesn't
Chris
he?
Berman on a surfboard.
The NFC has scored 17 straight points after the AFC took a 3-0 lead. And it's going to be up to the guys in red and white to do something about it. Tim Brown is really one of the guys who can do something and in a hurry. Low line drive kick taken by Eddie Brown of the Bengals. He's across the 20 to about the 28-29 yard line. So Brown did not get the opportunity. Once again down to the sideline, and Tom Jackson.
Hi, I'm down here with Jim Kelly. Jim, you must have been awfully excited about coming to this game, and then you don't get to play. Tell me what happened.
It definitely was. It's just a little tendonitis in the shoulder, but it's all right. It gave me a little pain at the beginning of the week, and our coaching staff's here, and they decided it would be best of me just to sit and watch this one.
Looking forward to getting back to it next year?
Oh, I definitely am, especially when you're one game short of making it to the Super Bowl. It's a game that, everybody's dream and goal is to, reach. And we fell one game short, but it's just a matter of going back out there, and I'm excited.
Thank you, Jim. Back.
Thank you, TJ. Let's see what Warren Moon can do as he starts the third quarter and throws wide on his first attempt to Tim Brown. Carl Lee was out there on the coverage. Haley also went out to help. Carl Lee had quite a year this year. 8 interceptions, returned 2 of them for touchdowns, and really helped solidify that Viking defensive backfield. Joey Browner was the star back there, and Lee really came on.
Well, the thing about the Vikings is they really needed some help at the corners, and they got it. You just can't expect a strong safety to carry your football team. He's up there, he's banging a tight end around, he's stopping running plays, but you have to have those great corners, I think, to really be an effective defense.
Brooks, nice spin move. Singletary has him at the 37-yard line. Rozier hasn't had a chance to carry it yet today. And everybody wants a chance just to get the ball a couple of times.
Oh, yeah, here they are. We're talking about the eyes have it in this game, and there they are. The most famous eyes in football. Well, just before the ball is snapped, they just light right up, and you can always find the ball carrier.
Great player.
Just before these, he calls the signals, he recognizes everything, and then just before the ball is snapped, his eyes get real big.
3rd and a yard. Here's Rozier's carry. Probably didn't want it that time. Joey Browner pushes him all the way back to the sideline. Rozier with no place to go. Probably saying thanks a lot for 3rd and 1, give me the ball.
Yeah, also the AFC comes out, they run 2 of the 3 plays they ran were running plays. I think that's going to be the last you're going to see of that. They're down by 14. You got 6:30 to go in the third quarter. They're going to have to put it up a little bit. And this is where the AFC defense really going to have to do their work and shut down that NFC offense.
Horan is on to punt. He really impressed people this week in practice with his leg strength. Just the sound of his foot hitting the ball would echo through the stadium. John Taylor at the 21. Almost got back to the near side. He had Browner out there who could have thrown him a block. He'd have been gone. 43-yard punt, 6-yard return. We are at the Pro Bowl. Just 20 minutes east of Waikiki Beach lies Makafu Point, and the cliffs provide a spectacular setting for for the meeting of water and land in Hawaii.
Not to mention golf courses, where you and I had a chance to spend a few afternoons.
And beautiful they are. NFC football at its own 27-yard line. Settle. Hit hard. Got out to the 30. John Grimsley put the shoulder to him.
You know, the thing about the NFC is it hasn't necessarily been a big catch or a big run by the people you would expect it from. Maybe that's not true when you deal with Randall Cunningham, because here's a guy, anytime he goes back in a pocket, if you play great pass defense, that means he's going to run for 25 or 30 yards.
That's right.
If you slack off and pay attention to him, he's going to throw it down the field.
Four-man rush, throws over the middle, and complete to Keith Jackson after the 39-yard line. That will be a first down for the NFC. Grimsley again in on the play, and the clock continues to run with 5:18 to go in the third quarter. Grimsley was an additional player, a need player, chosen for this game. And what a need player means, the coach looks at the roster and he says, hey, I need somebody else at this position. So they take the next guy in order in the voting.
And I also think that they're going to have to consider, the league's going to have to consider possibly 3 quarterbacks for each team, because you do have the guys that have earned this right, have been beat up, and usually play in the championship games and are a little sore when they get here.
Cunningham to Anthony Carter. Carter brought down at midfield. Out there with him was Thomas. Had 7 interceptions this year. Had a single season record for the Vikings, 1,225 yards receiving.
He just goes down, plants a foot, turns. Now Eric comes up to try and make the play, and if he doesn't slip, it's AC going by E.T. E.T.'s going to have to phone home to catch AC, I'll tell you that.
Very nicely done.
Thank you.
It's gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Anderson, big hole up the middle and a hard run down the AFC 41-yard line. Eric McMillan and Childress made the tackle. Anderson, of course, is making his first appearance in the AFC-NFC Pro Bowl. The 4th leading rusher in the NFC, had 1,106 yards, 4 touchdown runs of more than 45 yards this year. He led the Bears in rushing for the 2nd consecutive season, and as we talked about earlier, his first year as the replacement for Walter Payton. Although he did a lot of that last year when Walter was still on the ball club. Carter, a step behind Eric Thomas, but the pass was a step past Anthony. Cunningham just broke a string of 7 straight completions.
Well, we have seen some. Warren Moon comes out, goes, 9 for 9, and then Randall Cunningham, 7 for 7. He's so tall. It's funny. I walk around on this field and I think to myself, gosh, I had a chance to play in this particular game. I had a chance to play with all these great athletes. And I look around now and I feel like a little kid looking at their belly buttons. Their thighs are as big as my waist. Their quarterbacks are 6'5".
Delay to Anderson. Great cut. 20. Out of bounds at the 15-yard line. David Fulcher pushed him out, but a gain of 25 for the Bears. Neil Anderson.
Well, this is your other basic running play in this game. It's a simple draw play. And you see the offensive lineman get downfield. All the offensive linemen have to do is get on a defender and then let the back pick his way. And then Anderson just throws it right into second gear right here. And David Fulcher just does knock him out of bounds. You know, in games like this, you don't get a chance to talk about the offensive linemen because it's the skill guys that get it done. But Gary Zimmerman, Tom Newberry, Jay Hilgenberg, Mark Bortz, Jackie Slater, Mark May, Louis Sharp, Doug Smith, all doing a great job of defending.
Cunningham was going for Carter. Almost picked off. McMillan had a shot at it, and McMillan led the AFC with 8 interceptions this year.
There's that good offensive protection. Now he just sets it. McMillan just reads Cunningham's eyes and actually gets a great break on the ball.
Tremendous play.
A big guy, too. I mean, you know, he's not one of these short people. He's about 6'2", 200 pounds.
Out of Missouri.
Another rookie making it here in the Pro Bowl.
One of 4 rookies on the AFC roster. The NFC has 1. Second and 10. Cunningham over the middle to Jackson. Jackson down to the 6. Got away from Grimsley and Rembert.
When the coaches get together with the quarterbacks, Mike, they ask them what some of their favorite plays are. It's like I talked to Greg Landry, the coach of the offensive coordinator for the Bears, and I said, what are you going to do in this game? He says, well, Coach Ditka's going to call his plays. He's got stuff that he wants to call. But he said, we're also going to talk to the quarterbacks and see what they like. Obviously, one of Randall's favorite plays is to hit Keith Jackson circling about 10, 12 yards over the middle.
3rd and a yard. Stevens and Walker. Walker. Big hole. Touchdown, Herschel Walker. Gaping hole up the middle, and Walker had to break 1 tackle and did it.
You know, we talked about that offensive line just creating some holes. They cut off Lee Williams on the outside, and now McMillan does everything he can to try and keep Walker out, but it isn't going to be enough.
NFC extends it to 23-3, and Anderson comes on for another point after. There's a flag. 24-3 with 2:17 to go third quarter. The NFC over the AFC with 2:17 to go third quarter. You're watching the Pro Bowl on ESPN. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann with you. Glad you could join us. And Herschel Walker has 2 of the NFC's 3 touchdowns today.
22 yards and 6 carries. That's ranks right down there.
Tim Brown is going to have to field this one on the bounce. 8 yards deep in the end zone, and the AFC will have to start from its own 20-yard line with only 2:10 to go in the third period. They need some offense in a hurry. And Warren Moon will come on.
I'm going to go out on a limb. You know, I've done this through the year, mate. You know, I've gone out and I think the AFC's going to throw the ball a lot now.
Boy, you've got courage.
I like to take chances towards the end of the year.
Showing the same intestinal fortitude you have all year.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I'm sure they're going to have to throw the football a little bit more.
Well, with that in mind, look out for a draw play. 1st and 10. Flea flicker. Moon throws short. Clayton dropped it. Well, this is a day Mark Clayton would like to forget. He's just had a tough time. He has not been feeling very well, and he's feeling even worse right now.
Well, that was a flea flicker that was set up to try and go deep to Andre Reed, and Clayton just crossed over where the safety's vacated, and flat dropped it.
Second and 10 for the AFC with 2:03 to go in the quarter. Moon hit his first 10 passes in this game. He's missed his last 3. That, of course, not his fault. Clayton grabs this one. Got it out to the 33-yard line. Browner and Jerry Gray combined for the tackle.
You know, that's a nice move by Warren Moon to come right back to him. That's a good decision by the, you know, you do that in a regular season game with your own teammates, and in a game like this, you call a pattern where you feel fairly confident that you can get the ball on him because you know the defense is playing either a single zone, a single man-to-man coverage, or just a simple zone coverage, and you know, it gets him back in the ball game.
Remember talking to Warren Moon when we did the Oilers during the regular season, telling him we thought he deserved a shot at the Pro Bowl. I said, I wish you to let me know you thought I was in for sure. I was anxious about it. Hustles out of the pocket with Taylor in pursuit and goes down the 39-yard line. Warren Moon wearing number 7 in Pop Warner.
That's right.
And he changes to number 10 in high school.
I wore that in high school also.
And today.
Here he is in his AFC Pro Bowl jersey.
You get to keep the jersey?
Yes, sir. Got it hanging up in one of my restaurants.
All right.
At home. Very proud. It really is. I mean, when you leave here, it's like you can forget everything in your luggage, but you got to make sure that jersey goes home with you.
Haley on the blitz. And what a catch. Sideline grab by Reed at the 45-yard line. There's a flag down on the play. It looked like Dolman jumped early. Reed, just like you play around in practice, was hanging around the sideline with both feet just inside the line waiting on the ball.
That's all these receivers do, is they stand there and have coaches throw it to them.
Defense was offside, but they'll take the gain, and it's a first down. First down. Decline the penalty.
I think Ben's had a great time in Hawaii.
Ben loves it. He played golf every day, and Andre Reed's having a great time. Here, look at that. You've heard about getting your toes in? There's one for the heels.
First down at the 45 with 22 seconds to go in the quarter. Reed had a great year for the Bills. Primary target for Jim Kelly. Rozier and Brooks are the backs. Clayton and Reed, the wide receiver. Clayton. Gray hanging on and has him at the 40-yard line. Haven't seen much of the tight ends for the AFC. They have not thrown to Mickey Schuler and Rodney Holman.
It's almost like teams have to design it around them. You know, when you talk about Rodney Holman and Mickey Schuler, it's like the Jets and also Cincinnati designed their offense that way.
That's the end of the third quarter from the Pro Bowl in Honolulu. Memorial in the middle. National Conference leading the American Conference 24-3 after 3 quarters of play here at the Pro Bowl. And to commemorate 10 years of Pro Bowls in Honolulu, Joe Ryan of the NFL office on the left and John Waihee, the governor of Hawaii, on the right, presenting this trophy to commemorate those 10 years here in Honolulu. We hope it's here for many more years and hope that we have a chance to cover it for you.
Yeah, we can stay and wait till he comes back.
That's right. Here comes the reverse, Eddie Brown. Great move to get away from White, but Haley's out there. Somebody didn't bite.
No, you know, the linemen at this stage, when you're in the fourth quarter, reverses, the defensive linemen just aren't in a big hurry to try and chase guys around. I got to be honest with you. Look at the smile on Charlie's face. They just smiling away. I mean, he's got a lot to smile about. He's got that SF on his helmet, which also, you know, goes to WC, world champion.
So a loss of 1 on that play. Ball marked just outside the 41-yard line of the NFC Stars. Brooks will go out as a wide receiver. Brown and Reed come to the near side. Moon with time over the middle behind the tight end Mickey Schuler. Singletary was there. Let's go to the sideline again. Tom Jackson.
Mel, everybody knows it's a thrill to get into the Hall of Fame. The night before, what were your feelings?
Well, I was really at peace. I knew it was out of my control. It was something that I just had to wait and see what happened. And there's an old saying that when you do your best, you wait the results in peace, and that's what I did.
How many of your teammates, if you had thought about this, how many Steelers will get into the Hall of Fame?
Well, there's a number. I would predict right now about 9 players. We have a lot of people that, in my opinion, is Hall of Fame material, and I think that someday we should have somewhere around 9 people, maybe more.
Thank you, Mel.
Okay. It's good to see you, Tom.
3rd and 11. Moon in trouble. Dolman has it. Now, Warren Moon turned the wrong way that time.
Yeah,
the wrong way is where Dolman is.
That's right. That's one of those iffy decisions. If I go this way, what happens? If I go that way, what happens? He made the wrong iffy decision. Dolman's going to be coming from the right side of your screen. Now, Charlie Mann almost jumped offside, and he just comes around Anthony Munoz and smashes Warren Moon.
Loss of 15. Dolman, who had sacks in 5 straight games this year, and Haran is on the punt on 4th and 25. Taylor waiting at his 15-yard line. Half-hearted attempt at a block. Taylor lost it. AFC football inside the 10. There's the break they were looking for.
I believe it's Andre Reed on the ball. No, it's not. It's Cornelius Bennett.
Bennett with the recovery inside the 10-yard line.
He spikes it and breaks a football. So John Taylor just loses it, hits him in the face. And Bennett just comes flying in from the right of your screen. He's just going to beat him there.
Stevens also had a crack at it. Hanford Dixon was also down there. Names you don't normally associate with special teams. And the AFC has a chance to get back in this ballgame. Moon with time over the middle, incomplete. Through the hands of Eddie Brown. Moon really zipped that one in there.
Well, that one went flying by Rodney Holman and then went right through Eddie Brown's hands. You see, look left first. Now he comes back. And he just fires this thing. Eddie had that one on the chest. Last one hit him on the hip. That one hit him on the numbers.
13:45 to go. First and goal, or make it second and goal from the 9. Reed goes far side. Eddie Brown comes to the near side. Dickerson and Stevens to the back. Moon falls down, tripped over his guard or center, and flags are down. Now, Warren sat down in a hurry.
Ball start number 65 on the offense. 5 yards, second down.
Max Montoya, the right guard, playing in his second Pro Bowl.
Not only does he get out of the way, false starts, but see, he steps on Warren's right toe. Like a takedown in WWF. Just woof, both feet out from underneath him.
The 7th penalty today against the AFC. The NFC has yet to be penalized. Second and goal from the 14. 4-man rush. Moon with time throwing. Intended for Tim Brown. Case was over there with pretty good coverage.
You know what I think the AFC, they've been trying to go to the wide receivers. I really think they're going to have to isolate one of the backs, you know, one of the unlikely guys. Scott Case, he's got this inside position all the way, and he's just there right with Tim Brown, although he does get a hand on it. Scott Case doing a good job of anticipating. I think they're going to have to try and get the ball to, I would say, one of the backs out of the backfield. Warren Moon 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter.
This may be his last series. Dave Craig expected to play some here in the fourth period. Moon in trouble. Just throws for Reed and throws it out of bounds. Reed had a step on Dewerson, but Warren Moon couldn't get it there.
Well, again, great pressure. Chris Dolman coming from the right side, just flushed Moon out of the pocket. Gave him no place to throw the football. There's Dolman, number 58, coming around the horn. And his buddy Millard's right on his tracks. You know, a guy like Richard Dent with the Chicago Bears, Keith Millard, Reggie White, Chris Dolman. These are all guys that make defenses happen. I mean, you know, you take Randall Cunningham out of the offense of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're not that productive in offense. You take a Reggie White out of the defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, and they're not going to be as productive.
We've got a timeout with 13:32 to go in the Pro Bowl. It's the NFC by 21. Fourth down, 14. Moon under pressure, got away. And now he has to eat it. Millard covers him at the 21. Got away from the initial charge as Dolman roared in on him. Couldn't get back up in time. And the AFC threat ends right there. 13:22 to go in the game. It's the NFC 24, the AFC 13:22 to go. Fourth quarter of play in the Pro Bowl. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Tom Jackson, Chris Berman. Anybody that would fit on a plane we brought, we're here with it. Wade Wilson comes in as the NFC quarterback. First and 10 from the 25. Anderson. Mark May in there throwing a block for him. Mark May made it a special week, didn't he?
He sure did. Got himself married on Friday over at Waimea Falls. Had a beautiful wedding. His wife, Kathy, is here. Gonna head back home after this. Gonna get back out on Tuesday. I think he leaves Tuesday night, go back.
He was the only one of the starters on the Redskins offensive line who had not been to the Pro Bowl. A lot of people thought that was an injustice for several years.
I did. And the reason why is he plays the right tackle position, and of course, Joe Jacoby made it at the left tackle. He deserves it, but he finally got the recognition he deserved.
2nd and 7, Wilson to throw. Martin catches it at the sideline. It'll be another first down. Martin had a new Saints record for catches this year. Let's go down to the sideline and Tom Jackson. CJ?
Mike, I'm here with the mascot of the year, Kirsten. Kirsten, what's your favorite team, first of all? I guess it's obvious. That's all from here. Predictions from the top.
Thank you, TJ. And thank you, Kirsten. John Settle with the carry. Gets it up to the 39-yard line. Cornelius Bennett on the stop.
Now everybody starts to settle down the huddle a little bit. This is where you run the clock down as far as you can. If you're the NFC.
Do you really want to do that if you're out there? I mean, don't you want to throw the ball?
No.
Don't you want to run a reverse?
No. You got 10 grand in your pockets. You want to keep it. You don't want to, embarrass yourself by throwing interceptions. Let me tell you something. These guys get mad at you if you start screwing them.
Wilson over the middle. J.T. Smith at the 41-yard line. He really threaded that one through there.
Here's a guy who I've felt for the last 2 years should have been in the Pro Bowl. Has made it before when he was at Kansas City as a kick returner. Led the league in receptions. Has been 1 or 2 the last couple of years and has been everything for the Phoenix Cardinals. 2 years ago when all the receivers were hurt, J.T. Smith was there week in and week out, play in and play out. He got here on Tuesday. His luggage got here on Thursday.
Since 1986, he has 254 catches. That's the most in the National Football League. Great moves, great hands. Anderson behind Newberry inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. John Grimsley, who's been very active on defense, made the tackle.
One thing, Mike, is Mike Ditka has coached before here at the Pro Bowl. And I think it's a big advantage bringing your staff over, knowing what you can do with a great bunch of athletes when you get them together. For Marv Levy and his Buffalo staff, this is the first time. So, I really think what we're seeing here is we're seeing the inexperience a little bit of a coach just sort of understanding a little bit about what to do with these players, and another one that's been here before.
50,113 today's record, today's attendance, another sellout. McMillan makes the tackle on Settle as he gets to the 35-yard line. Only 1 year after the strike-shortened season has the Pro Bowl not sold out since it moved to Honolulu.
Oh, the people here in Hawaii absolutely love football. They love football. They love this game. I mean, you come to a practice during the week, and there's 1,000 people in the stands just sitting watching practice, and the athletes are so cordial. They go around and talk to the kids and sign autographs.
They've been very nice to us, too.
Terrific. Can't wait to come back.
Not late.
Next week?
3rd and 3 with 9:49 to go in the game. Wilson on the inside handoff to Anderson. And Anderson about a yard shy of a first down. Matt Millen of the Raiders made the tackle.
9 years Matt played and finally made the Pro Bowl. I told him, I said, what you do is you threaten people that you're going to retire and then guys vote you in. That's the way you do it late in your career.
It will be 4th and 1 from the 32. And Morton Anderson comes on the field. Anderson will try a long field goal. They're spotting it near the 39-yard line. Would be a 49-yard attempt.
49 yards and 18 inches, being that we're into, 3-inch scoring drives.
Of course. NFC wants a timeout to talk about it with 9:02 to go in the game. They're already up 24-3.
Professionals out there a few days ago and said them 18-footers coming in.
It's a sight to see. And Morton Anderson out of the ballgame. They will go for it on 4th and 1. Why not?
I'm sure they're a sight to see. Sure, why not?
Anderson. First down to the 30. I think Morton Anderson may have been looking forward to trying a 49-yard field goal.
Well, yeah, but you got to remember what you've got in this game is you've got new snapper, new holder, and you know the chances of them really messing it up are higher than a normal percentage would be.
Mike Ditka may have wanted to keep the clock moving. He may be able to get in 9 holes after this game.
Yeah, he played every day. Of course, you and I have too. So.
Neil Anderson in the game, 68 yards on 9 carries. Settle. Little stutter step. Powers forward to the 25-yard line. Clock continues to roll. We've reached 8:10.
You know, you think of this game, Mike, and you got to start thinking MVP in this football game coming up. Warren Moon got off to a real fast start for the AFC. Randall Cunningham has really produced a lot of the points.
Sure have.
For the NFC, John Settle, you know, fulfilling a dream of his and rushing well. Neil Anderson doing a good job.
I like Cunningham.
Yeah? I agree.
Okay. Anderson this time hit at the line of scrimmage. Grimsley and Cornelius Bennett were there. Grimsley's just had an outstanding time at inside linebacker.
Terry Bradshaw mentioned something when TJ was talking to him earlier about, you know, being selected to this game and you know, questioning whether or not you want to play. I think this is the greatest honor an athlete in professional football can have, is to be voted to a Pro Bowl and come over here and really be able to share your talents with the best in the league. I mean, it's right up there with winning a Super Bowl. I wouldn't say it's at the level of a Super Bowl, but it's right up there with that kind of an honor.
3rd and 5, Bennett with the sack. Boy, he was coming like a freight train, ran right over a block and then right over Wade Wilson.
There he comes right around the corner. See, that's that same mismatch we had before. I mean, Louis Sharp got in his way, and John Settle just sort of disappeared.
Bennett cranked it up a notch on that one, and now Anderson will come on and try a 51-yard field goal.
See, they were too close before. It was only 49 yards, and to move back a little bit.
Jim Arnold, the Lions punter, is the holder. Not his best year this year for Morton Anderson. Still better than most. Got the distance by a mile. It's got the distance, and it's good. He crushed it. Morton Anderson with a 51-yarder might have been good from 60 and extends the NFC lead to 27-3, the 4th quarter of the Pro Bowl.
I don't know. What are you going to do?
Anderson's 51-yard field goal, a new Pro Bowl record. The former mark, Jan Stenerud, 48 yards in 1972.
That thing was rising going through, too.
51 may stand for a while, and he may be the guy to break it.
Yeah, if there's somebody going to break it, he's the one.
Anderson will kick off. Timmy Brown waiting at the 8-yard line with 6:12 to go in the game. And that one will go into the end zone. Go to the sideline and Tom Jackson. TJ?
Icky, this year, did you expect to be in this game?
Yes, I did. I felt I had a pretty productive year, and I thought it was based on production, but they said the coaches and the players picked people for the Pro Bowl, and basically they said it was production had something to do with it, but then seniority too. So hopefully I can get in and perform the same way I did this year and hopefully be here next year.
I'm sure you will. You have my vote this year.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got a vote from his jeweler, too, it looks like.
That's right. You aren't kidding. You know, there is a little bit, I think, in that, is that seniority, in a way, does play into this. Coaches and players take into consideration. I think another guy who definitely is in consideration is Jimmy Everett.
Craig throws short. Dewerson almost picked it off, cutting in front of Andre Reed.
There's another young quarterback, I think, that's emerged very, very well in the NFC. And, you know, the first year, you have a good year, and then all of a sudden you don't make it. You think, well, gee whiz, why? And if you can go out and put another good year in behind it, it's sort of like the first year was an attention getter for the league, for the coaches, for the players. Then the next year, it's like, okay, you've shown that you have the ability. Can you do it again? And then you get a chance to get in.
Plus, if you have a guy like Dickerson, he can have an off year and still get in the Pro Bowl because everybody knows what kind of talent he has. Dave Craig over the middle, picked off by Terry Kennard. 5, touchdown Kennard. Now he steps out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Now they're just laying back there in the secondary waiting on these.
Well, David Craig is in a tough situation. You're down by 24. You're going to have to put the ball up the field in a hurry. And all the safeties are doing is sitting and waiting. You see out to the left part of your screen, he just tries to fire it up the field to Andre Reed. And Kennard just reading his eyes. Now watch his left foot as he moves over here on the 12-yard line. Right there. See it? Steps right out of bounds. He comes back in and still wants to get in the end zone. What the heck?
Terry Kennard chosen by Mike Ditka as a need player, an extra defensive back. And came through on that one. Craig, it's been a tough Pro Bowl outing for him. 2 out of 11, 14 yards and an interception. Remember, he showed up late in the week. Settle. Trying to relive his dream the second time. Gets down to the 8-yard line. Kennard from the Giants. Clock running, 5:49 to go in the ballgame. Been a tough year for the New York Giants, and Terry Kennard has to please him very much to be over here with Lawrence Taylor, UCLT sitting beside him, cap off their season. Wilson wants to throw, guns it to Ellen, touchdown. NFC getting a lot of paybacks for the last 3 or 4 years in this one.
Yeah, they decided to make them up all in 1 year. Wilson's getting his arm loosened up a little bit. Now he just sets and fires this one. There's that good protest. 1, 2, 3, and let her fly.
Ellard in front of Hanford Dixon. And it's 33-3. Storybook season for Henry Ellard this year. Anderson is on for another point after. And the NFC just laying it on right now. 34-3 as Wade Wilson gets the touchdown pass. Oh, this is a tough spot for the AFC.
Oh, really?
Just
great.
Thank you very much. Wilson was the NFC's top-rated passer in 1988. He had the best game of his career against the Lions. Threw for 391 yards in that game and is making his first Pro Bowl appearance after 8 years in the NFL. Talked about paying dues earlier. There's a guy who's paid his dues. 5:25 left in the game, 34-3. Wilson waving to somebody in the crowd.
I'll bet you're probably sitting here, as well as all those people at home, wondering what's been the biggest score in a game in the Pro Bowl.
Well, I guess you're getting ready to tell me, aren't you?
Funny you should ask. 45-3 in the 1984 Pro Bowl. The NFC won that in front of 50,445 people.
Thank you.
Guess who the quarterback was?
Who was it?
Me.
Well, congratulations.
The reason
was that
why
your MVP year?
Yeah, it was the year it was the year of 1983 in the game in this one. But the funny thing about it is the AFC kept bringing those linebackers we talked about, little extra linebackers. So instead of running the ball, we sort of took a vote, and we decided that we'd throw the ball anyway because they were blitzing us. That's why the score got so high.
There's one guy out there who is not even taking it easy. Ron Wolfley, the special teamer for the NFC, went down, took on a couple of blocks on the way down there on that kickoff. Even though it means absolutely nothing, Wolfley was really busting it to go down there. He is the special teamer.
This is why he's here. I mean, look at it. Look at the high knee action, the arm pump. He's just looking for somebody to run over.
And it's Rufus Porter.
There they are. Well, the two of them are there. That's why they're there. They're special teams players. It's a long run.
It sure is. Craig wants to throw the screen. Brooks and Case did a great job of not buying any of the fakes and waited for Brooks to run right into him. David Craig with time throws incomplete to Brooks this time.
Well, that time what he tried to do is he was going to put the old brakes on and loop around run, but he forgot one thing.
The ball?
You got it.
Tunch Ilkin from the Pittsburgh Steelers, as far as they know, the only Turkish-born player ever to play in the Pro Bowl. Originally cut by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's back. Excellent player, Pro Bowl. Reed almost caught it between his feet on the third bounce. That would have been something to see.
A little bit of hands, a little bit of chest, a little bit of feet, and a little bit of turf. That's what it wound up with.
Tunch Ilkin, we are told his mother was Miss Turkey. You just wonder if the contest is still in existence.
Yeah.
Had the Chris Hamburger hairstyle and the number.
And the number.
In high school.
And there he is just a few years later.
He had allowed 1.5 sacks in 1988. His first full sack since '86. I mean, that's one full sack in 2 years.
It's really known as taking pride in what you do.
Horan booms it out of there for Taylor. Got a wall on the outside if he can make it. Taylor still on his feet, midfield. 25-yard return after a 50-yard punt. ESPN's coverage of Anderson has a block from Martin downfield, dives inside the 40 to about the 38-yard line. And they are happy in blue, not so much in red and white. They're always happy in green and orange, however. Everybody gets their picture taken.
Everybody gets it. Isn't that great?
SportsCenter follows our telecast from Honolulu. Mike Ditka's had a nice, pleasant afternoon. Got a fun week out here. He's relaxed. And he did a tremendous coaching job. You look at the number of people that the Bears lost, the personnel this year, through retirement, trades, injuries, and to be where they were at the end of the year, a wonderful coaching job.
And truthfully, I believe that all through the year with the injuries and everybody, that was the movement that you just talked about, the one guy whose absence was not really felt until the end was Richard Dent. And you know, not having him there, I believe, was the difference in the Bears having that chance to move on in the playoff rounds. I think he's the best defensive end I've ever run from. Got to be honest with you.
From an eyewitness.
Up close and personal.
2nd and 7 with 2:52 to go in the game. Anderson again across the 35 to the 34. Back to the sideline and Tom Jackson. TJ.
Bruce, we got a couple of pictures here that we wanted to show you. I want to see if you recognize anybody in this. Let's put it up.
That's me. Oh.
Did you ever think those two guys were going to be playing in the Pro Bowl?
There I am when I was skinny.
Who's the cuter of the two?
I think the pictures speak for themselves. I was always a lineman, never got to carry the ball, so.
That's great. That's great. Thank you, Bruce. Mike.
TJ, thank you. Bruce and Clay Matthews, the first brothers to play in the same game. Of course, Randall Cunningham, his older brother Sam, played in this game in '79 as a member of the Patriots. And we have a father and son situation with McMillan. 2 minutes to go in the ballgame. 34-3, the NFC in a romp. 34-3, the NFC with an impressive offensive and defensive performance today, and they have won the 19th annual Pro Bowl from Honolulu with 2 minutes to go in the game. It's the NFC's ball at the AFC 34-yard line. Anderson and Settle are the running backs behind Wade Wilson. Settle on the toss. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. Down to the sideline to Tom Jackson.
MVP of this year's Pro Bowl, Randall. This is a dream come true for you?
Yes, it is. You know, I was so happy when Roger Craig won the MVP of the conference and the NFC, and I came over here. I didn't really set my mind straight to win MVP, but it's great because we went out there, and I think I had the advantage because Chicago sort of runs a similar offense, you know, than the Eagles, that we could do with the Eagles.
NFC had a pretty good week of practice. I came out here every day. The AFC was a little bit loose. You guys, Ditka sent you through through a pretty tight practice every day, didn't he?
Well, he's a nice man. You know, you hear all these things, you finally play for him, and he really let us relax. We didn't do a lot of plays. We just came out and played in practice, and we were kind of loose, but not too loose, and not really a big speech. We came out, and I look around all these players we have. I said, we can't lose this game.
Randall, congratulations. Great season, great game today.
Our congratulations to Randall Cunningham. There's a delay penalty called against the NFC. They were letting the clock run down as far as possible on 4th down. And Jim Arnold may wonder if he's ever going to get a chance to punt, the punter from the Lions who had such a brilliant year.
Well, he's all sunburned. I saw him. He's really not that concerned with it. He's more concerned about having his face fall off. He's got little noses all red, and under his eyes are a little red. And Jim will be all right. I'm sure he'll be all right. When he gets back to Detroit, I'm sure that tan will dissipate just now.
Absolutely gorgeous in Honolulu. Anderson on 4th and 11. They'll run it. And he's brought down at the 35-yard line. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited.
And when you look at the field, another great job done by George Toma and his crew. Of course, the groundskeeper out of Kansas City. And really, you know, the Super Bowl, people said that the emblem tore up a little bit, and George and his crew worked real hard. Turns out there was an irrigation problem during the Super Bowl. It was turned off in the center of the field, and it got all dry. And so it should have never happened, and you know, George's men should be very proud of the job they did here, making this place look beautiful, as well as the work he does all year.
Last 37 seconds of the game, and David Craig to the shotgun, and he is sacked. Brought down at the 28-yard line, and Reggie White crashed through together. Sack stops the clock momentarily.
You know what amazed me about Reggie White is normally those defensive guys wear those, gee, look at that. Where are we? Isn't this beautiful?
We've seen that all week.
Oh, isn't that terrific? He wears those little shoulder pads. I mean, you know, they're not really big ones. They're like almost like quarterback shoulder pads. So as big as his shoulders are, that's how big his body is.
And they're not going to try to run another play after the 6th NFC sack of the ball game. There's your most valuable player, Randall Cunningham, as he led the NFC to a 34-3 win over the AFC in the 19th annual Pro Bowl. For Chris Berman and Tom Jackson and Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, the men and women who've worked so hard all year to bring you the pictures and the sounds of the National Football League, and John Wildhack, our producer, Mark Payton, our director, Drew Essecock, everybody on the crew, just a tremendous job. We thank you very much. And I'm Mike Patrick. Thanks for listening to the Pro Bowl from Honolulu. 34-3, the NFC over the AFC, our final score. Thank you for being with us not only this game, but all season.